U.S. Treasury Department announced today fresh sanctions against 11 companies and individuals for their ties to Iran's ballistic missile program. 5 Iranian nationals and a network of companies based in the United Arab Emirates and China were added to the American blacklist. This comes one day after sanctions were lifted over Iran's nuclear program. U.S. President Obama delivered this statement a short while ago from Washington.
The nuclear deal was never intended to resolve all of our differences with Iran, but still, engaging directly with the Iranian government on a sustained basis for the first time in decades has created a unique opportunity. Of course, even as we implement the nuclear deal and welcome our Americans home, we recognize that there remain profound differences between the United States and Iran. We remain steadfast in opposing Iran's destabilizing behavior elsewhere, including its threats against Israel and our Gulf partners, and its support for violent proxies in places like Syria and Yemen. We still have sanctions on Iran for its violations of human rights, for its support of terrorism, and for its ballistic missile program, and we will continue to enforce these sanctions vigorously.
International sanctions on Iran were lifted after the UN nuclear watchdog said it had complied with a deal designed to prevent it from developing nuclear weapons. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu reacted, saying that even after signing the nuclear deal, Iran has not relinquished its ambition to obtain nuclear arms. For his part, Iranian President Rouhani said that everyone supports the agreement except for Israel. I-24 News reporter Dennis Weibel with the latest.
The UN nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, announced Iran was in full compliance with the July deal negotiated between 6 world powers and Iran over the restriction of its nuclear program. Sanctions against Tehran, described as crippling, were in turn lifted. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said in a statement that was also read in Farsi by Iran Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif that the historic deal had gone into full force.
Ever since adoption day, we worked hard and showed mutual commitment and collective will to finally bring the JCPOA to implementation.
Its proper implementation will be a key contribution to improved regional and international peace, stability, and security.
Within minutes, the United States formally lifted banking, steel, shipping, and other sanctions on Iran, a major oil producer which has been virtually shut out of international markets for the past 5 years. Tens of billions of dollars worth of Iranian assets will now be unfrozen, and global companies that have been barred from doing business there will be able to exploit a market hungry for everything from automobiles to airplane parts.
Iran has undertaken significant steps that many, and I do mean many, people doubted would ever come to pass.
The end of sanctions means more money and prestige for Shiite Muslim Iran as it becomes deeply embroiled in the sectarian conflicts of the Middle East, notably in the Syrian civil war where its allies are facing Sunni Muslim rebels. In turn, the deal has been viewed with deep suspicion by American allies in the Middle East, including Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Regarding the Iran nuclear deal, Israel will continue monitoring any international breaches by Iran, including the nuclear deal, the ballistic missile deal, and terrorism.
Iranian President Hassan Rouhani hailed the deal as a, quote, golden page in the country's history, but noted bitter opposition from archfoe Israel, some members of the U.S. Congress, and what he calls, quote, warmongers in the region, a clear reference to some of Tehran's Gulf Arab adversaries.